Here is a question that has quietly haunted the produce aisle for the last 20 years. You are standing in front of two identical-looking bunches of spinach. One says organic. One says conventional. The organic one costs $4.99. The conventional one costs $2.49. They look the same. They smell the same. They will definitely taste the same once you saute them with garlic for 4 minutes. You stand there slightly longer than is strictly necessary, doing math in your head and wondering, am I a bad parent if I buy the cheap one? Am I being scammed if I buy the expensive one? What does organic even mean? And why does nobody at this grocery store seem willing to give me a straight answer? Here is your straight answer, and I promise it will be more nuanced than either organic is always worth it or organic is a total scam. Because the honest truth sits somewhere in the middle, and getting to it requires understanding exactly 3 things. What organic actually means, what the science actually says about whether it is better for you, and which specific items are worth paying the premium for and which ones are not. Organic fruits and vegetables cost 52.6% more on average than conventional produce, according to a LendingTree analysis of USDA data. And between January 2025 and January 2026, organic produce prices rose 10%, while conventional prices were virtually unchanged at just 0.3%. The gap is getting wider, which means this question, worth it or not, is getting more expensive to get wrong. Before you can decide whether organic is worth paying for, you need to know what you are actually paying for. Because organic is a legal term with a specific definition, and it does not mean what most people assume it means. For food to be USDA certified organic, it must be grown using approved methods, with emphasis on natural substances and conservation of resources like soil and water. Organic farming prohibits or severely limits the use of synthetic pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, genetically modified organisms, irradiation, and sewage sludge as fertilizer. Here is what it does not mean. It does not mean pesticide-free. Organic farmers can and do use pesticides. They are simply required to use pesticides derived from natural sources rather than synthetic ones. The word you want is reduced synthetic pesticide exposure, not no pesticides. It does not mean locally grown. An organic label on a strawberry from Mexico tells you how it was grown. It tells you nothing about how far it traveled, how long ago it was picked, or how it was handled during transport. It does not automatically mean the food has more nutrients. The USDA organic label is primarily an environmental and farming practice certification, not a nutritional one. And critically, a product can be labeled organic and still be full of calories, sodium, or added sugar. An organic cookie is still a cookie. An organic processed snack food is still a processed snack food. The organic label on a packaged food product tells you about the agricultural origin of its ingredients, not about whether the final product is healthy. Products labeled 100% organic must contain only organic ingredients. Products labeled simply organic must be at least 95% organic. Products labeled made with organic need only contain 70% organic ingredients and cannot display the USDA seal. These distinctions matter on a label, and most shoppers have never read them. Now for the part that makes both organic enthusiasts and organic skeptics uncomfortable, because the actual scientific evidence is more complicated than either side usually admits. On nutrition, it is not clear whether organic food has more nutrients, such as vitamins and minerals, than conventionally grown food. The level of nutrients in food depends on a host of factors, including the variety of the plant, the quality of the soil, harvest time, and the way products are stored and for how long. Although organic fruits and vegetables may be better for you by lowering your exposure to pesticide residues, the nutritional benefits have not been shown to be significant. Some studies have found that certain organic produce contains higher levels of antioxidants than non-organic foods, as well as higher levels of vitamins and minerals like iron and zinc. Other studies have found no meaningful difference. The scientific consensus right now is that the nutritional evidence is mixed, and that any differences where they exist are modest. On pesticide residue, this is where the case for organic is strongest and most consistent. Organic farming significantly reduces synthetic pesticide exposure. Studies find that organic food exposes consumers to less pesticide residue. People who eat the highest amount of organic food seem to have the fewest cases of a cancer called non-Hodgkin lymphoma. People who are pregnant might benefit from eating organic food, as contact with pesticides may be linked to pregnancy complications and problems with fetal development. The concern about pesticide residues is real and grounded in evidence. Chronic exposure to certain synthetic pesticides has been linked to endocrine disruption, neurodevelopmental issues in children, and elevated cancer risk. Organic farming practices significantly reduce this risk by prohibiting or severely limiting synthetic pesticides. The most honest summary: organic food will not reliably give you meaningfully more vitamins, but it will reliably reduce your exposure to synthetic pesticide residues. Whether that trade-off is worth the premium across every item in your cart is where the answer gets more practical and more personal. Let's put real numbers on this, because the price premium on any single item feels manageable until you apply it to an entire weekly grocery shop. Organic produce costs 52.6% more on average than conventional. On a household that spends the US average of $6,224 per year on groceries, a full conversion to organic across all produce categories adds roughly $3,200 per year in additional spending on produce alone, before touching any other organic categories like meat, dairy, or packaged goods. Organic chicken breast costs $10.99 per pound, compared to $4.79 per pound for conventional, more than double. For a family eating chicken twice a week, that difference adds up to several $100s a year from a single protein source. U.S. organic food sales reached $65.4 billion in 2024, up from $38.6 billion in 2012, adjusted for inflation. This is a market that has been growing because people believe in the value. The question is whether that belief should extend equally to every product on the shelves, or whether some items are worth the premium and others are not. The answer, fortunately, is specific and well-researched. And it is delivered annually by the Environmental Working Group in 2 lists that are, once you know about them, enormously practical. Here is the framework that makes the organic question answerable and actionable, rather than just philosophically overwhelming. Every year, the Environmental Working Group analyzes USDA pesticide residue testing data and publishes 2 lists. The Dirty Dozen, the 12 fruits and vegetables that consistently test for the highest pesticide residues even after washing. These are the items where buying organic is most likely to meaningfully reduce your pesticide exposure. The 2025 Dirty Dozen includes strawberries, spinach, kale and collard greens, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples, grapes, bell peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans. If you are going to spend the organic premium anywhere in your cart, spend it on these. These are the items where conventional farming's pesticide use is most persistent, and where the exposure reduction from organic is most meaningful, per USDA testing data. The Clean 15, the 15 fruits and vegetables that consistently test lowest for pesticide residues, whether grown organically or conventionally. These are the items where the organic premium is least likely to provide any meaningful health benefit. The 2025 Clean 15 includes avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, onions, papaya, sweet peas, frozen, asparagus, honeydew melon, kiwi, cabbage, mushrooms, mangoes, sweet potatoes, watermelon, and carrots. Buy the conventional versions of these without guilt. You are not meaningfully increasing your pesticide exposure, and you are not paying a 52% premium for a benefit that the data does not support for these specific items. This framework, organic for the Dirty Dozen, conventional for the Clean 15, use judgment for everything in between, is the most practical answer the science currently offers. It allows you to meaningfully reduce pesticide exposure where it matters most, while not dramatically inflating your grocery bill across the board. The Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 address produce, but organic food extends to meat, dairy, and packaged goods, and the case for organic in those categories has a different shape. Organic meat and dairy. Organic meat and dairy products are produced without the use of antibiotics or growth hormones. The overuse of antibiotics in conventional animal farming can lead to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, a significant public health risk. Growth hormones, used to increase the size and productivity of livestock, have been associated with an increased risk of certain health issues in humans. The antibiotic resistance concern in particular is not controversial. It is recognized by the World Health Organization as a major global health threat, and the connection between heavy agricultural antibiotic use and the development of resistant bacterial strains has strong scientific support. If you are going to prioritize organic spending in any food category beyond the dirty dozen produce, meat and dairy, particularly those consumed by children, represent the strongest case. Organic packaged foods, the weakest case for organic. If you are choosing between organic potato chips and conventional potato chips, the organic label tells you something about how the potatoes were grown. It tells you nothing meaningful about whether processed chips are a good food choice overall. Organic ingredients may be added to processed products that are high in calories, sodium, or added sugar. Check the label of organic products as you would for any food. The organic label on a highly processed food is not a health certification. It is a farming certification. Do not let the label do work the product cannot. Here is where the finance brain meets the food decision, because this is fundamentally a resource allocation question. The question is not, is organic better? The question is this specific organic premium worth paying for this specific item, given everything else competing for your food budget? Spending an extra $50 to $100 per month on organic dirty, doesn't produce, and avoiding antibiotics and hormones in meat and dairy is a defensible choice with genuine research support. The evidence for reducing synthetic pesticide exposure is real. The antibiotic resistance concern is real. For families with young children or pregnant members, these benefits are most relevant. But spending indiscriminately on organic, buying the organic version of every item in the store, including the Clean 15 produce, the packaged snacks, the frozen meals, and the condiments, is a much weaker financial and health decision. You are paying 52% more across your entire cart for an inconsistent set of benefits that is strongest on produce and weakest on heavily processed foods. One registered dietitian puts it simply: the CDC reports that 1 in 10 Americans doesn't consume the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables daily. As research does not suggest direct health benefits of consuming organic foods over conventional, families can feel good knowing that their conventional produce purchases are safe and nutritious for their family. Eating the conventional spinach is dramatically better for you than not eating spinach at all. This last point deserves to be said clearly. If organic produce is so expensive that it reduces how much produce you buy overall, the trade-off has gone the wrong direction. A conventionally grown apple is enormously better for you than no apple. A conventional salad is better than no salad. The organic premium should never be so budget-constraining that it reduces the quantity or variety of whole foods in your diet. Here is the simple, research-backed decision tree for your grocery cart. Step 1. Look up the current year's Dirty Dozen list. The Environmental Working Group updates it annually. Buy organic for those specific items. For everything else in produce, buy conventional unless cost is not a concern, and you prefer organic for other reasons including environmental values. Step 2. For meat, dairy, and eggs, consider organic or at minimum antibiotic-free and hormone-free labels. These are the categories where the non-pesticide concerns around antibiotics and growth hormones have the most support. If budget is a constraint, prioritize this for items consumed most frequently by children. Step 3. For packaged and processed organic foods, apply the same scrutiny you would apply to any processed food. Read the labels. Check the sodium, sugar, and calorie content. Decide based on nutritional profile, not the organic label. Step 4. Never let the organic premium reduce the total quantity of fruits and vegetables you eat. Eating more conventional produce is better than eating less organic produce. Back to those 2 bunches of spinach. Spinach is on the Dirty Dozen list. It consistently tests for among the highest pesticide residues of any produce item in the USDA annual data. If you are going to spend the organic premium anywhere, spinach is one of the items where the science says the extra $2.50 is doing something real, reducing the synthetic pesticide residue you consume when you eat it. Organic produce costs 52.6% more on average. Organic prices rose 10% between January 2025 and January 2026, while conventional prices barely moved. The U.S. organic food market has reached $65.4 billion per year. These are large numbers and they are going to keep growing. Whether spending into those numbers makes sense for your household depends on two things the grocery store label cannot tell you: which items are worth the premium based on pesticide residue data, and whether the premium fits your budget without reducing the total quality and quantity of the food on your plate. The Dirty Dozen: buy organic when you can. The Clean 15: buy conventional without guilt. Everything else: use judgment, not anxiety. And the $80 question of whether the organic label on potato chips changes the health profile of potato chips. No. No, it does not. Put the chips in the cart or do not. But do not let the label make that decision for you. Hope you gain some insight from the video. Hit like and subscribe. See you in the next video.